Nature doesn't find the sunrise tedious. I don't think it does. And the ocean doesn't get bored of the tides. In our natural world, repetition is the heartbeat of creation. Yet in our human world, we oftentimes call it the daily grind. Hello, everybody. I am your host and guide, Tammy Ward, a transformation and spiritual development coach. And, we are all have been taught to fear the loop. But today on the Let's Talk About It series, on this Embrace Life Boldly podcast, I want to reclaim it. I want to talk to you about reclaiming the loop that we're always in. We are diving into the art of the rinse and repeat of life and giving you a bit of tidbits to help you along your journey as well. I want to move past the heavy have tos, I have to do it of society and step into the power of the choose to, that mind, body, spiritual connection of choosing to do. It's time to stop washing away our days and start washing away the illusions that keep us from our own transformation. And I'm excited to get started with you today. Now, before I get started on the podcast, I am doing this new thing, and it's called just a podcast break shout out. These shout outs are just for those amazing people who are doing amazing things. I mean, they're standing arm in arm with fear and creating purpose out of it. And I just want to give a shout out. So here we go. People don't just buy a retreat. I know I haven't. Anytime I bought a retreat, I have made sure that there is a intention and a purpose and a mission to all of it. What I've understood from it is that I'm not just buying a retreat. I'm buying the feeling, the information, and the knowledge that I'm going to get for it afterwards, right? After when I finish the retreat and go back into, our 3D world, in a world that never stops moving, choosing rest is a radical act. And my friends are creating a beautiful space for exactly that. At their upcoming Sacred Respite Retreat, it's more than just a getaway. It's a deep, deep breath for your nervous system. So Danette West and Leslie Dieter Paquin are two women who are committed, committed to the work of remembering, softening, and listening for the wisdom beneath the noise. Now, during their Sacred Respite Retreat, they will walk you through the breath work. They will walk you through shamanic journeys, sound healing, and the kind of rest that feels like it's falling into Earth's arm. You're so grounded and connected. And this retreat is a gathering for women and all those in female bodies who are seeking renewal that feels sustainable, not the surface level stuff. We're going to be reimagining what rest and replenishment can look like for you. And if you're somebody who is craving that gentle, authentic connection and shared belonging, this is the retreat for you. So over 3 days, you won't feel or be fixed. You'll be met, you'll be seen, and invited back into the version of yourself that perhaps you've been missing. I'm giving this retreat a shout out because I believe the time we spend on ourselves is the love we all have been looking for. So join Danette West and Leslie Dieter Paquin on March 13th through the 15th in Julian, California. Now, if you want some information about that, it is going to be in the show notes. So you're going to have to go into the show notes and take a look at the link. But if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. I have no issues of answering all the questions I can for you or putting you in contact with them. Okay, now let's get started today. Okay, so I want to get started on looking at the origin of rinse and repeat. And this was a lot of fun for me because there is a lot of rinse and repeat we do in life. A lot of rinse and repeat of words that we say, thoughts that we have, or ways that we just find into actionable items with, right? So what I realized about rinse and repeat after doing some research with it is that it literally was the start of the instructions of shampoo. Seriously, shampoo. Oh, yeah, obviously consumerism at its finest to get used to a product of how to rinse and repeat, shave it or put the shampoo in your hair. But what's crazy about it is that as time went on, our society has become a metaphor, like the rinse and repeat has become a metaphor in our society of the hamster wheel, constantly going and going and going. But I want to offer you a spiritual reframe. You know what? No, not only do I want to offer you a spiritual reframe, but I want to offer you the thought of having it be as a human to spirit integration, a human to soul integration thought, in this nature of rinse and repeat that we're bringing into the space. Okay. So what I want to talk about is that repetition is the law of life, right? It's the tides, it's the breath, it's the seasons, it's the consistency really that we do every day. Like the tides come in consistency. Whether or not what is happening, it does. Breath happens, right? Knowing that we do not breathe in the past and we do not breathe in the present. I mean, we don't breathe in the past and we don't breathe in the future. We're breathing in the present of self, right? And transformation doesn't happen in a giant leap. We all know that. I mean, it's not just like wake up one day and you've already dropped all the weight, or wake up one day and you're no longer angry, right? It happens in the rinse. So if you think about the metaphor in this way, each repetition is an opportunity to wash away a layer of the old self. I mean, how about that instruction on your shampoo bottle, right? But as we look at it and we address it in the society mindset, right, that we mentioned earlier, we are conditioned to crave novelty. We're conditioned to crave the next big thing. We're conditioned to, which makes the daily maintenance of life feel like a burden, right? When we go into it already thinking about the outcome of something, it feels heavy a little bit, right? And that's the trap. To me, I think the trap of when and then, right? How many times have we said it in our own life? When I finish this project, I'll be happy. When I get married, I'll be happy. When I find love, that'll be it. When I lose this weight, when I buy that car, whichever way it is for you, the mindset makes the now feel tedious. In all reality, when we find something tedious, we are not actually there doing it. We're already in the future of wishing it was over, right? We're already in that process. Like, I'm going to get up and work out. But as I work out, if I'm in the mindset of like, I'm going to drop this weight like tomorrow, then, or build that muscle by tomorrow, that's in the tedious. So I'm already looking at something that's in the future. But if I stay in the present and know that each step, each move, every rinse that I make in this moment, it will begin to show progress in that. And that's the bridge for me between the human and spiritual mindset. And with that bridge, I want to introduce you to like these ideas that I have about the 3-stage mindset ladder. And if you can go back into my podcast, I think it's pretty early on in the podcast where I talk about, the have to, get to, and choose to. And if you really think about it, it's the same as the let them, let me, and let it be mindset. And I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later on. So join me every week and you'll hear more about that. But right now, I just want to work on that have to, get to, and choose to. So everything in life is stage and phase, right? There's always stages of where we're at in life. And there's phases that we go through that build us stronger, 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 or just keep us where we're at. And so that first stage is what we've been awakened to even in our younger age, right? Like the have to say you're sorry to someone, or have to get up in the morning for work, or have to go work out, or have to do the to-do list for the day, or have to go, we say these words have to. And really the have to is the energy of that is really in that victim heavy energy, right? Because the internal dialogue that you keep saying is, I am a slave to my schedule. Life is happening to me. And where are you in all of that? If that's the stage that you're at and the have to, then you know that there's a get to, right? I'll say the second stage, that second phase is the get to. It's the energy of gratitude and light. The way of seeing like, I have the health, I have the resources to do this. Life is a gift. I have a schedule. Life is happening with me. Everything is a gift. It's trying to get to that place to where if you can shift the mindset of like, you're not having to do anything, you get to do it. I get to go pick up my kid from school. I get to go sit outside with my family. I get to go be in this generous podcast with you all right here. It's about knowing that you have what it takes already to get something done. You have what it takes already to get to the next point in life. And I love that. And if you're at that stage and phase, I'm just asking you to go just a little bit deeper into the next level, which is the choose to. Now, again, the choose to, the energy there is just power, right? You've taken back your power. You have full sovereignty in your own self. You have all that. My little dog right there, Cosmo. You have all of that with you right now. You become the architect right? I choose to. I'm repeating this because it serves my soul. I am repeating getting up in the morning to focus on health and energy and lightness. I choose to go to work every day because it pays the bills and it offers my family a beautiful respite, right? It's one of those things where it's like when you can see it as the choose to, this is where the transformation peaks. Even if the task is rinsing the dishes, choosing it transforms it into an act of care for you, an act of care for your home rather than a chore imposed by gravity, right? And right, instead of like, well, have to, or, get to do the laundry. Get to do the laundry is great because you're almost there in that choose to, right? When you get to, you feel a little bit better. When you choose to do the laundry, there's like another step in your pep. There's a pep in your step, I mean. There's like this like buoyancy that begins to feel lighter and releases so much for you so that way you can enjoy it, right? Listening to some music with it, you know, and being able to just like put into your own thought and mind, like, okay, I am choosing to do this. No one else is making me. No one else is here to help me. I can choose it. Now you can also choose for support and help whenever you play with that level and that stage and that phase of your life, but play with things, right? But if you're somebody who's like, okay, how do I set this into practice? How do I turn the repeat into a ritual? And it's a great question because it's going to be different for everybody. And I'm just going to add on here some of the things that have helped me and helped some of my clients as I have been moving through this too. So first things first, small steps. Small steps create micro transformation. I mean, small steps. There's no such thing as motivation. There really isn't. If you take one step towards what it is you choose to do, then you will discover motivation, right? It's just that simple. You pick one mundane task, whether it's folding the laundry, driving to work, and you just declare it. You declare it as a sacred repetition, as something that is whole within yourself. And I suggest that every time you repeat a task, you're actually rinsing your perception of it. So in the rinse and repeat analogy, right? We want to rinse away what society has created for us. We want to rinse away all the ways we used to do something before that was not of service to us. And so you want to rinse your perception of it. You aren't doing the same thing twice because you're not the same person you were yesterday or just a few seconds ago or even a few minutes ago. You are the person you are exactly in this moment. So choose to see this task as a beautiful part of you and just be with it. There's this quote that I like that I wrote down a long time ago that helped me with micro transformation. And I believe it's by Will Durant. And it really is just summarizing Aristotle. And it says, what are, hang on, I'm going to get it. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. And so, okay, I'll repeat it again because I'm getting the ping to repeat it again. So here we go. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So meaning how I take that in is like, as we begin to practice and practice and practice and make it a routine and bring it into our daily life, it becomes progress, right? There's also a podcast I did with my son, man, when he was very little. It's called Practice Makes Progress. And it's early on in the podcast, but I'm sure if you go down there, you can take a look and find it. But this quote that I was talking about, it helped me understand that as I practice every day, how I view myself completing a task, it's not about perfection or excellence, but rather an opportunity for growth and connection. So every time I would do something, and it may be different each time, but like say meditation, right? If I go into meditation, sometimes I'm laying down, sometimes I listen to just frequency, sometimes I listen to a guided meditation. But either way, shape, or form, every time I do it in the morning at the same time every day, within 5 to 10, 20 minutes of itself, I make sure that I just build on my awareness. I build on the practice of my awareness. And with that, there becomes this space where I'm choosing life because life is happening for me. It's not happening to me. I am choosing these things. I am choosing to be here, to belong, to see myself, for you to see me. And that's really what it's about. So when we talk about the rinse and repeat, it's about what way can you rinse the dirt, rinse the muck, rinse the shampoo out of your hair to repeat a process of cleanliness, to repeat a process of awareness, to repeat a process of transforming all that used to be to where you are now, just in this moment. And hey, if you're like a journal person like I am, here's like a journaling prompt I can say. As you step away from this episode and back into the rhythm of your day, remember the repeat isn't your cage, it's your classroom. So if you're a journaler, or even if you're a meditator, or if you're just going to listen to this and say, okay, every day I'm just going to wake up and listen to something, or whatever you do, wake up and breathe, it doesn't matter. As you step away from this episode and back into the rhythm of your day, remember, the repeat isn't your cage, it's your classroom. And anytime there's a classroom, you can play inside that classroom. Well, if you're a journal person, here's a journaling prompt for you. Ask yourself, what have to, right? The first stage, what have to am I ready to reclaim as a choose to? So basically, where you wash away the old and make space for the new. I mean, that's it right there. If there's something that you were always like saying the have to, how can you reclaim that to say, I choose it? I choose to do this. Every dish wash, every email sent, every breath taken is a chance to rinse the lens and see your life for the miracle it actually is. And that's a beautiful thing. And I love that. And I hope this rinse and repeat was like something that is starting to make you feel, make you see